Oh, yes.
That way it's
How
officially
dare you record me?
it's officially consensual here at We Live Fantasy, WeLiveFantasy.com. Breaking
All
down
consensual.
breaking down the US Open 2020 at Winged Foot. Tyler, I am so ready for this tournament. I am just so
Yeah,
ready.
me too. I'm ready. I'm ready to make some money.
I'm ready. Everyone was complaining about the lobbies and everything on Twitter. I think the lobbies were just fine because I live that low stakes life. So I had no problems
That's right.
loading up my 50 cents and my ones, but I did make a couple $10, and I did make firing a few at single entry lineups too. What lobbies are you in this week?
I've got 5 in the millie, the
Nice,
$100 millie,
nice,
and I've got 1 in the $5 single entry.
nice, nice.
That's where I'm at this particular moment.
Did you kind of
Now that could change.
Did you kind of stick to a core group of guys, or are you kind of all over the board?
As of right now, I'm kind of all over the board, and that's only because I have 6 entries in. If I had a little more, I'd have a core that I would stick to. But I can't give away a spoiler because I know we'll get to him. But there is one guy that's in 5 of the 6, and he is a sleeper.
Whoa.
Really like it.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Well, this week at Winged Foot, everywhere I've seen on social media, all my research, all my reading, 7,500 yard golf course. It's playing like 7,600. Dustin Johnson and Tiger Woods were both quoted yesterday saying this is the toughest golf course they've played since Carnoustie a couple years back for the British Open, and that course ate people's lunch. I saw Ben On posted on Twitter yesterday that he shot 8 over on the back 9 in his practice round, which is crazy. And he said it felt good and he didn't feel like he left too much out there. That's insane. If you double that for the front 9, which is supposed to be harder, he shot 16 over if you just mirror those back to back. So this week could be
no Ben On.
Yeah, no Ben On, unless he's just trolling the world. But I also saw our boy Chubbard, very excited. He was very excited on Twitter about everything. But I've seen everything from guys hitting 4 irons into lots of par 4s to guys losing golf balls that were right off the fairway. I was listening to Sirius XM this morning, and some of the guys that are on the grounds there said that we're to a point now in the practice rounds where guys are having to check to make sure that it's their golf ball, because guys are finding more and more golf balls lost in the grass that are not
previous rounds,
that are not really theirs, and there's no crowds to like beat down the grass in the areas where the crowds would be. So everything's long, everything's crazy. So
we need guys that can hit fairways.
If we can find the bomber that can hit the fairways, I think those are the guys that are going to succeed. But I really think that at some point throughout these 4 days of golf, if your guys make the cut, that you're going to have to also have a guy with the swing speed and the ability to get out of the rough. Because I think it's inevitable. I think everyone's going to find themselves in the rough. It just depends how often, you find those guys in the rough. So we need the guys with like Popeye arms that can just shellac it.
Ooh,
but the reason I like
Sam Boner.
Yeah. The reason I like the bombers is because even if they hit it 300 yards down the fairway, they're going to have a shorter club out of the rough with more ability to get it on there, as opposed to someone, like Ches Reavie. If Ches Reavie hits it in the rough, he's going to be shellacking it out with like a really long iron, and it's only going to be like 260 yards down the fairway. And even though Ches Reavie was in the winning lineup last week, he's never scored over 80 points still to this day. He was just low owned and played well. So the rough is absolutely brutal. I think we need to focus on guys that are lasers and are going to find the fairway no matter what. or the bombers that are just going to hit it so far down there that they're not really worried about it. Like Bryson DeChambeau's caddy was on the radio, and it's just like, yeah, he's hitting driver everywhere because at least it's going 330, 340 down there, and he can just kind of hope and pray and kind of whack it on because of how strong he is.
Yeah.
So I don't think we need any guys in between there. We either need guys that are going to hit the fairways or guys that are going to bomb it. And that's kind of where I'm at. Another note that I made this morning is that there is weather rolling in on Friday. So Friday afternoon, it's going to be windy, cold, and rainy. But that'll also kind of soften the course.
So if we play a showdown, though, for that day would be a nice.
You want guys Friday AM. You want guys Friday AM going off of the front. Going off of the front because the back nine's harder. The back nine starts on a par 3 that's like 210 yards. So that's not fun. That's not fun at all.
No.
The guy, I sent you this screenshot a few months ago after Michael Thompson won his golf tournament. And he said that he is so excited for Winged Foot. It is his favorite golf course. He's played it forever. It suits his game, suits everything, and he's so excited that he qualified for the U.S. Open this year because it's at Winged Foot with that win. So at his price point, I forgot his price point, but right now
it's like 67.
Yeah,
67.
You really can't beat that. The only thing is the stats and the numbers don't point you in that direction. But it didn't point anyone in Stuart Sink's direction last week. It didn't point anyone. Sometimes golf is crazy and it happens like that. And
but if he's excited to be here.
Yeah.
If he's excited to be here.
And he loves the golf course, which I've heard everyone else hate the golf course all week long and how tough it is. And I think the mindset will be there for him to make the cut for us at 6,700. Why we're down here, I just want to make a note that I do not recommend this play whatsoever. I'm just pointing it out. I'm just pointing it out.
Here it comes. This is what I was talking about. He's in 5 or 6.
JT Poston is $6,100.
I thought you were talking about Lonto Griffin.
Oh, he's next, and he's in the core 4. But I just have to point out that if you read anything I write or watch any of this, you know how much I love JT Poston and how I will die on that hill. Strokes gained total of 63 puts him in the cut. Strokes gained short game 60th puts him in the cut. Strokes gained around the greens 9th is actually top 10, puts him in the cut. And I like, and he's 16th putting. So I'm taking a chance. I can't recommend it, but if you're with me and you live the low stakes life, throw a couple darts at JT Poston, stack them up with Thompson, and go hard in the paint.
All right. So let's. Okay, so I'm looking at him finishing T59th at the BMW Championship a couple weeks ago and getting 40.5 points, which, really is kind of good from what everyone got there. Really, because it was just a shit show. Everyone sucked there, other than Rahm and Johnson. Pretty much everyone else was terrible.
Yeah.
And then he got T30 at the WGC, the St. Jude, and scored 72 points.
Yeah.
If you pick him, you can put Rahm and DJ in the same lineup and hope for the best.
Yeah, you can, and you get Thompson there. Those two guys didn't make the core plays, but damn it, I'll be damned if I don't have a lot of them in the 50-cent lobby. I'm taking my shots with them. Also down here in the 6K range, Adam Long.
We talked about that.
Adam Long's the real deal, and all his numbers, besides around the greens, pretty good. The one scary thing is that he's 60th off the tee, so that's kind of scary. Knowing what we know about Wing's foot,
Right. If he gets in the rough, it's going to be a bad
yeah,
day.
yeah, it's gonna be a long day. The next guy who's green across the whole board down here on Fantasy National is Joel Dahman.
Yes, Daman.
Dahman. I wear the same hat as him, so we're tight. We're blood brothers. And then Brian Harmon. Brian Harmon is a steal at 6,400, and the only reason I think he's priced that low is because of the depth
Because he could shit the bed.
of the depth of field, and he can also shoot 100 over on us, and he's not very long. So he's the guy. If for him to play well, he's got to hit every fairway this week. He won't have a fucking chance if he's not there. My next two guys in the 6K range, I'm skipping Hubbard because that's a given. You should know that we love Hubbard. Okay, just play Hubbard.
That's right.
That's
right. We should have shirts that say the Chubb.
Is Lonto Griffin, and Lonto Griffin made it into my initial core 4 play. He's top 30 player, priced at over 100th, like just insanely cheap. He just made the Tour Championship in Eastlake. He's a top 30 PGA golfer. We've been on him since the COVID has allowed us to play. I've played him every week, and it's just someone give this goddamn man some love at DraftKings pricing.
Or don't.
I mean, or don't. I mean, or don't. Or don't. I don't really give a shit. But
we'll take it.
The guy is killer. He's top 30s across the board. He's top 30 in FedEx Cup points last year. He's playing good, and I like everything he's saying. The last sneaky kind of play down here is a name you might not have heard of if you don't follow golf a lot, but you probably heard him if you saw the PGA Championship, is Michael Lorenzo Vera. Played absolutely stunningly at the PGA Championship, where it was very tough. European Tour player. The reason he caught my eye is because of his outstanding short game and how well he just kind of finds a way in the toughest conditions to play well. He popped on a lot of my models when I've kind of made it for tough, heavy conditions, and he popped really well. So I like him a lot. I don't have more than 4 lineups with him, but if you're looking to deviate somewhere down there, I think he's a cut maker, and he'll make you feel nice and cozy because there's no way he's over 2% owned. There's just no.
Well, at that point, I'd rather go Lonto because he's going to be the same percentage owned.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. It's true.
It is.
Moving up.
That's a good play for sure.
Yeah. If you want to be different.
Under 1% owned.
I mean,
under 1% owned.
I don't think he's going to go out there and shit the bed. He proved that to me too many times. When I play European Tour lobbies and I don't know like the back half of the field, I just make all balanced lineups on European Tour. I sort everything fantasy points per game, and he's literally right there. Like all it's like boom, Lorenzo Vera, boom, Lorenzo Vera. And over there on Euro Tour, I don't play for big money. I just play just to be involved and kind of play it because I watch it in early mornings.
And you watch it, right?
Yeah. So I enjoy it. There are some European Tour guys we're going to get to later on, but we're just going to kind of go through here. Now the 7th.
Hey, I didn't hear you bring up the RBC or the RCB.
Yeah, man. I can't.
I know you can't because he doesn't look good on paper.
I can't do it this week. I can't do it.
I'm surprised you didn't say so.
Man, he's so undervalued too. Yeah, once again, a top 50.
He is, but
it just hasn't looked good, man. His best statistic right now is 70th, and that's putting. He's 115th 115th in DraftKings points, 98th on approach, 86th off the tee, 116th strokes gained total. He's lit a lot of $20 bills of mine on fire. And I can't do it, man. One more name that no one's mentioned, if you kind of go in the bombers and the guys who will just find the fairway, that I kind of stumbled across last night building lineups, was Adam Hadwin. He's gonna
Hadwin.
He's gonna find every fairway. And remember when he was $8,900 earlier this year? His stats are green across the board. He just doesn't score a lot of DraftKings points, but in a tournament where where everyone's going to be struggling, he might be the guy to pop. And I haven't heard one person mention him at all. So skip on Ben On. I don't think Ben On's trolling us. I think he's telling us the truth. I think he's struggling. Actually, the last guy in the 6,000 range is Mackenzie Hughes. We've seen the past 2 months, the harder the golf course, the better he kind of shows up.
That's right.
So keep him on your back burner.
He's in one of the 5 millies I have.
You got to. Why not, right? Next up is Siwoo Kim.
Why not?
Siwoo Kim. Love me some Siwoo Kim this week. His swing is just so pure, and I just love it. Every footage I saw of him playing the past couple weeks have been him hitting fairways. He just missed the FedEx Cup playoffs. Technically, if you were to rank just PGA Tour guys, he'd be 31st right now. And then I know you're going to hate this, and Siwoo Kim is 28th in DraftKings points for the past 3 months. You're going to hate the next one, but it is Phil Mickelson. If you followed golf and you know the history of golf, you know his incredible hit it into the trees with a 2-shot lead on the final hole and gave the tournament away. He's my heartfelt pick for this week. He won his first Senior Open Tour event and dominated that sumbitch. He didn't play extremely well last week at the Safeway like I thought he was going to do again. But I have about 10 lineups with Phil. I believe in karma. He's a good guy. He deserves it. He wants a U.S. Open, doesn't have a U.S. Open. He's won literally every other golf tournament. This would complete his actually, I don't know if he's got a PGA championship, but he would be closer to completing the Grand Slam. I'm going for Phil. And the next member of the Core 4 is Brennan Todd. 7,400.
Yes.
7,400 plays. He's top 10 putting, top 10 short game, top 40 in strokes gained total, top 50.
And he played great at the BMW. He did. He played
great.
He played amazing. When everyone else was struggling.
And he was day one leader at the PGA Championship. He's the second notch in the initial run of the Core 4 group. And he's the guy, okay, no tweeners, right? We want bombers or guys that are going to find the fairway. Brennan Todd is going to find the fairway. He's going to hit the middle of the green. He's going to be the guy, Mr. Consistency, 7,400. That's going to fucking boom. All right. Another guy at 7,400 that you brought up, Joaquin Niemann.
That's right.
He was charging. He was charging hard at BMW. He was charging hard.
Yes, he was.
He was right there. I like that play a lot. I'm probably about 10% Niemann right now.
Yeah, you have to be. You want to make some money? That's the way to go.
Yeah, pretty much. In the article.
All right, let's go.
In the article, I wrote up, I'm hammering the 7 and 8K range. I'm just absolutely hammering the 7 and 8K range. There's just so much guys here, so this section might take a little bit. Hang on 1 second. I just had a ring at the doorbell. Hang on. I know, man. Can't finish wall until everybody agrees. All right. So we left off there with Neiman, who I absolutely love. I can't touch Horschel, Spieth, Garcia. I'm just not feeling it with those guys. Uh,
No,
the
no, I'm
next
not either.
the next four guys I all have a lot of, and that is Sung Jae,
Smoke them.
Kisner, Usti, who I love this week,
Oosty, ooh.
and Matt Wolf.
Yes. Okay. So while we're in this section,
Yes.
I'd like to talk about Matt Wolf. Earlier, you had spoke about this being what was it, 7,500, and you said it was going to play more like 76 or something like that.
Yeah.
He is fantastic when it comes to longer courses.
Yeah.
He always seems to show up. I noticed that he had finished T16 at the BMW, which I think is going to play very similar to this. And I like where his price point was. So he ended up in 2 of my Millie entries.
Nice.
Just so you know.
Nice. And hits it
So
up.
we like that.
Hits it a country mile.
Yes.
He's one of the longest guys, underrated long guys.
Yes.
The biggest thing I liked about him is he is 13th the past 3 months off the tee. Huge.
That'll do.
That's serious. That's serious.
That'll do.
Stuff. Oosthuizen, I just like that he's been there. He's done that. He I guess he could qualify as one of the tweeners. But I'm just feeling Louis Oosthuizen at his price, and
he's always under 5% owned. How does that happen?
Right.
How does that happen?
The Rafa Cabrera
Always.
video effect. Lowry missed the cut last week and looked like absolute dog shit, so I'm not going there. The next member of the core 4 is Mr. Gary Woodland. He came here last year. He said in an interview on Golf Channel and played the golf course. His caddy knows the golf course really well, and he's been here since Saturday. He is one of those bombers that has proven time and time again that he can play long golf courses. He can play.
Yeah, he can hit a fairway.
He can play in serious golf tournaments. And being a major champion, he's now qualified as the been there, done that squad. And I like that. I like that a lot. And I think he can he can play really well this week, and his worst number is around the greens. But I guarantee you that number was close when he won the U.S. Open last year at Pebble Beach. I guarantee you that number was close, and I, I mean, I don't know what to think of that stat, but I can live with that because it's green across the board everywhere else. I have faith in him that he can pull it together. You're an Answer guy. Where are you at with Answer, man?
Well, I'm not playing him this week, which means you should play him. That's usually how that goes.
That is usually how it goes, huh?
So, no, I don't really like anything about him, unfortunately, this week.
Okay.
He didn't really do anything for me at the BMW that I seen, and I compare this a lot to the BMW and how it's going to play.
Yeah.
Which is same goes for Paul Casey. I just don't like him regardless because he never puts points on the board. And as we move up, I mean,
and I'm with you. I'm with you on the Answer effect and how you're feeling about him because you know my love for Harris English.
Yeah, and that's funny because that's next on the list.
And I haven't found myself in this range going Harris English. I've been going other directions.
Yeah, like Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, like Fitzpatrick, who's literally the best putter in this range. He's the best putter in this whole group. Didn't make my core four. The guy at 8,000 next to him did make the core four. The final person in the initial core four was Victor Hovland for me. But I did Hovland Fitzpatrick to kind of start building balance lineups, and those lineups look absolutely sick.
Yeah, I bet they do.
They look absolutely sick. Hovland, man, I third in DraftKings points, top 10 in strokes gained total at $8,000 is just a no-brainer for me this week. And he is in. I did a lot of the core four in my big money builds this week just because I feel so good about it. I kind of pivoted the core four late last night. So instead of Hovland, Griffin, Todd, Woodland, and leaving 10,000 on the board, I did Hovland, Todd, Reed, Woodland, and that one looked really good as well. And that left you $9,000 per player to kind of go hard with there. But we'll get to that later. Your boy Hatton.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I haven't got to him. And I'm so glad Scheffler's out of the field. I'm so glad he doesn't have to be a fucking thorn in my side for the whole goddamn weekend.
Yeah, oh my God, I know, man.
And it's both ways. I take the man and he shoots fucking 8 over and doesn't do a damn thing. Then the next week goes out there and finishes fucking T3rd with 10 under.
And shot a 59.
Fucking's in the goddamn middle lineup.
And shot a fucking 59 on us, man.
This whole next section from Tommy Fleetwood to Ricky Fowler, I have not taken anybody.
Really?
Not one person.
I like it. I went Reed, Scott, Finau in this next kind of group of people.
Well, I didn't include Finau and Moxie in that.
Okay.
I did not include Finau and Moxie, and I'll tell you why in a second.
Tiger Woods is just a heartfelt pick, and I'm not gonna sit there with him playing well and watching it all weekend long if he decides to show up and be Tiger Woods. You've
been saying that for a year, though, dude.
I got obnoxious amounts of Tiger Woods, and that's all right. I'll die on that cross. I will. Patrick Reed, shoulder is confirmed feeling better from a source that I can't really confirm or deny anything. He's some dude on Twitter I talk with. But his buddy's brother is caddy for Patrick Reed. he confirmed that his shoulder's better and he's feeling really good. He can make full swings. He took a few weeks off after the tour championship to rest and relax. Been on the ground since Saturday. I feel a lot better clicking Patrick Reed, another major champion that can do it here.
And a beautiful golf swing.
Yeah,
an absolutely beautiful golf
one of my
swing.
favorites. Speaking of beautiful golf swings, Adam Scott. I know a lot of people jumped his bones for the PGA Championship. I think that's kind of sizzled out and everyone's kind of forgetting about it a little bit now that everyone thinks they know everything. Haven't really touched Day. I think I have Fleetwood in one or two. But
you want to hear my favorite stack?
Yeah, I do.
It's taken a while to get there, but I'm glad we finally made it. And I'm not the biggest Finau fan.
Yeah.
But
how'd he do at the BMW and the PGA? Tell me all about it.
How did he do at the BMW? Let me tell you how he did at the BMW. He was 5th and got 73.5 points, which was more than about 98% of the entire fucking field. So I like me some Finau.
Yeah.
He also finished 4th at the PGA Championship and got 89 points. I'll take that all day long.
Did he?
He did. He did.
Both tough as shit, long golf courses. Finau, his worst stat is 37th, and that's putting.
Love it.
That's his worst stat. He's 7th in DraftKings points the past 3 months, and off the tee is top 20. Strokes gained 8th. I mean, hello to you. When everyone's so worried about finding value, and you look at numbers like you can, and look at our spreadsheets and anywhere else you look, if you're trying to find value, this is what we're seeing with Finau right here. Is what I see wholeheartedly with Hovland at 8,000, because it's just like both guys are top 10 in DraftKings points, and they're not even in the top 10 of pricing. That's crazy to me, and to me, that just screams value. Screams it.
I agree.
Screams it.
The other person right there is Matsuyama.
Yeah. How'd he do at the PGA BMW?
Oh, well, let me tell you. At the BMW, he finished 3rd and shot 79.5 points for us. We like that.
Yeah, and putting like dog shit.
Yes, keep that in mind. Yes, and he putted much better in previous tournaments before that one. The PGA and the WGC, he finished 22nd and 20th and had 67 points and 75. I think that if you could find, I normally say you want over 80 points on every single one of your lineup to win the Millie. But this week, I think it's going to be anything over 65 because it's not going to be a birdie fest. There's not going to be that many points on the board. I think if you could pick who finishes 1 and 2, which could very easily be Rahm and DJ, you get 50 points right there for 1st and 2nd place. And you fit a Matsuyama or a Finau, or you stack them and take one of them. I think that's a very doable play. And it's the smart.
I'm with you. The burger. You have any burger. You're a burger eater.
I eat a lot of burgers, and I I mean, he finished 2nd at the St. Jude. He finished 13th at the championship, and at the BMW was 25th. I mean, I wouldn't hate anybody for taking him. I just am concerned about him not doing as well as Finau or Matsuyama that are right below him. That's my concern.
Yeah.
Just with the way that the course is going to play.
Yeah. Next up is absolutely one of my favorite plays this week is Patrick Cantlay.
Of course it is.
I hate saying that. I hate watching him play golf. I don't. It's not enjoyable. I feel like I can't relate at all to Patrick Cantlay. Like if I just saw him, he's like Joey Logano.
He
You
is
know,
like Joey
he's like
Logano.
Joey Logano. Like, oh god, I have to start Joey Logano starting second at Richmond,
They
but
look
then
like cousins.
you start Joey Logano and you realize that it was the right play, you know, and you're just like, God damn it. That's where I'm at with Patrick Cantlay because I feel like he's bulletproof almost. Like he's gonna fly under the radar. He's gonna do his thing. He's kind of handpicking his,
Okay. Well, okay.
and he's
You would take Cantlay over Simpson?
That's tough. That's yes.
It is tough.
This week I would. Simpson's
Really?
length scares me.
Okay.
Simpson's one of those tweeners. Cantlay can hit a 3-wood 300 yards. I've seen it. You're breaking up. You good?
Yeah, you got me?
Oh yeah. Webb Simpson, man, the only reason Webb Simpson's scaring me is solely because of hitting. I don't want to like sound like I'm contradicting myself. So the thing that kind of just scares me about Webb is he's not extremely long, and I feel like he's one of those tweeners that's going to find the fairway but still have a lot of hybrids and super long irons into these greens. And if he's in the rough, I think he's dead with Webb because he doesn't have the sheer club head speed and the sheer power to shred through there like some of these other guys around him have. And that's the only thing that scares me. If you were to tell me he'd hit 80% of his fairways and he'd hit 70% of his greens, and you promised me that, and you told me that he would do that, I know he'll putt the shit out of it and make some birdies and be there. But I don't know, man. I mean,
well, yeah, anybody would at that.
Yeah, I mean,
tell me anybody that's gonna hit the fairway 80% of the time, and I'll take them.
So out of the top 10 here, let's sort these here. Hang on. Out of the top 10 guys, strokes gained total, all above $9,000 and above, him and Harris English are the worst two guys off the tee. Strokes gained off the tee the past 3 months. Webb Simpson is 33rd off the tee, and Harris English is 67th off the tee. So everyone else around them. So to compare, because it's going to be very important this week off the tee, you got Bryson DeChambeau, who's first strokes gained off the tee, right above him at 99. You got Colin Morikawa, who's 13th off the tee. You got Xander Schauffele 6th off the tee, Rory McIlroy 5th off the tee. Just below Webb Simpson, you have Patrick Cantlay at 19th, Berger at 14th, Finau at 18th. So just around him, guys are better than him off the tee, and that shows me that he's the shortest guy up here. Out of all the other guys in the top 10 in pricing, he's the shortest guy, and he's getting the least amount of strokes gained off the tee compared to everyone else in his price range. I mean, even Cantlay's top 20 off the tee. So that's where I'm at there.
And you like Cantlay over Berger too, huh?
Yeah, the only problem is Berger just trumps him in DraftKings points. That's the only big factor. Big factor there.
Yeah, but those are all games where they're birdie fests. You know, Cantlay doesn't ever go into a match and like birdie fest that bitch. He doesn't ever do it.
No,
he doesn't. Like never. so Berger can get into a birdie fest rhythm and fucking nail a few birdies in a row, and that's where you get your points.
Yeah.
I actually think Cantlay is probably the better play here, especially if it's going to play like the BMW did, where he's gonna string enough together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have BMW in front of me. Where was Webb there?
He didn't play.
Oh, that's right, that bastard. He fucking skipped town on us. Bryson, man, I made a few Brysons in the 50-cent lobby just to make sure I don't miss out on Bryson. But man, he sure, 3 months ago. He struggled
bad.
3 months ago, we were talking about placing future bets on Bryson DeChambeau for the U.S. Open when he beat the shit out of them at the Rocket Mortgage. And now I'm thanking God I didn't place those bets because it hasn't been looking too good.
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't.
His approach, he is in the green and number 1 off the tee, 4th in putting and 6th in DraftKings points, but he's 91st on approach and 79th around the greens. Him and Rory McIlroy have the most bad numbers out of all these guys up top here in the past 3 months.
Great. I love to hear that.
Morikawa, he's right fringe top 10 on everything except for his short game and his putting. He's struggling there. But
yeah, he's terrible.
But tell him that at the PGA Championship, and he'll be like, "All right, well, cool. Check out my trophy."
Yeah. He put it together for a weekend, didn't he? He did. He put it together.
Here's some good notes for you here. Tell me who this player is. I have never finished worse than 6th at a U.S. Open. All of my strokes gained are inside the top 36th on tour. And I'm 10th at hitting greens all of 2020. Who am I?
Schauffele.
It is correct. That is correct. All of his stats are in the top 36. He's never finished worse than 6th at a U.S. Open, and he is 10th for 2020 hitting greens. So do what you want with that information, but never finished worse than 6th at $10,000. He might not have won a major championship, but he sure seems like he's right on the outside of the been there, done that squad. And
that's right.
There. Rory McIlroy. If there was anyone, if it was him, Justin Thomas, Jon Rahm, and Dustin Johnson, the 2 longest players that could actually overpower this golf course would be Rory and Dustin Johnson. They're the only 2 guys that I know that can kind of grab that extra gear. I think Jon Rahm and Justin Thomas pretty much hit it, as hard as they can all the time. Rory McIlroy and Dustin Johnson are just so long that they kind of had to gear back a little bit to hit the more controlled shots, but they still hit it a jillion yards. If there are 2 guys that I believe that would be able to actually overpower this golf course and actually shoot a number, it would be those 2 guys. But I don't feel like there's actually going to be anyone able to overpower this golf course because of the rough being such a penalty. Overpowering a golf course qualifies to where I could just literally bomb it as far out as I want. The rough doesn't really penalize me. The bunkers don't really penalize me. The greens won't penalize me for hitting it into the rough. I think this golf course being so tough that there's not going to be – the only way you can overpower a golf course here is if you're hitting it 350 like those guys can do and you're putting it in the fairway.
Right. Which is tough.
But at the same time, those holes that are really hard to hit the fairway, Dustin Johnson and Rory McIlroy are going to be the guys hitting the 3-woods and the really long irons, like 250, 260, like how long Brendan Todd can actually hit his driver. And feel comfortable right in the fairway there. Um, Listen, Rory McIlroy might not have done a lot and might have burned you a lot and might not have done all the right things, but you just never count him out. And you know that, but
Oh, I know.
I
Oh,
mean,
I know.
but I mean, you just can't count him out because he can hit any shot. He can hit it right to left, he can hit it left to right, he can hit it low, he can hit it high. Arguably one of the best bunker players in the world. You can't count him out. Um, I was contemplating making 150 Justin Thomas lineups again, just because just because I'm gonna do that one week. I'm gonna do that just because I know he's so fucking good. Um, Listen, if he can hit a green and make putts, and everything else is on there, he's unstoppable. I mean, he's that kind of generational talent. John Rahm, um, I'll I might regret saying this like I did at the BMW
Sorry.
Championship, but man, I love fading John Rahm so much. It's like the
I
greatest.
would have been here to talk to you, but Lacey turned our freaking internet off.
Well, it's not working for me.
John Rahm's my favorite fade in the world.
Yeah, me too. I love watching him play golf, dude. I love watching Rahm play golf.
It is the best
Hilarious.
ever. It is the best. I made out of 60 lineups in the 50 cent lobby that I've done as of right now. I have 2 John Rahm lineups. One of them is the Mexican cartel lineup with all Hispanics and Spaniards, and the other one is a Rahm with a balance build. So that's all I'm doing with Rahm, so I can keep track of those Rahm lineups. And that brings us to Dustin Johnson, who
I've got one Rahm. I've got one Rahm, Millie.
All right. Well, there you go. Now you can track it and have fun with it. Dustin Johnson, I don't know how many people have picked up on this, but he has fixed his putting. The dude can hit every fairway and hit every green and hit it 360 yards with a driver. But one thing that's always kind of been holding him back is his wedges and his putter. And it's been like a 3-year jaunt of him fixing his wedges and 100 yards and in, because those are his scoring clubs. And he leaves himself in that position a lot with how far he hits it off the tee, and he can never throw darts with them, I guess you could say. One thing I picked up on since he shot that 81 and came back and won the following week is when he's putting, he's like locking every time before his putt. He's like locking in his arm right here. You see how there's that, like if I were to set up for a putt, you see how I put my arms forward like that?
Right.
He's setting up, holding the putter with his right hand, and he's like locking. You see that movement? That space? Well, he's locking that in.
So he's bending it in almost.
He's locking that in, and he's locking that arm, and then it's just a shoulder turn. And I don't know how many people have picked up on that. I picked up on it like a week ago when on Golf Channel, or 2 weeks ago when they were showing him on the practice putting green before the final round. And I thought it was just a drill. Like I thought it was just a drill he's doing to get that feel, but he's doing it every time before every putt. And I think he's absolutely square, and the ball's finally going where he wants it to go off the putter face. That's a dangerous man if he's making putts like he has been the past month. I mean,
Yep.
He just absolutely has taken over ever since Brooks talked shit about him. He's figured it out. He's grinded, and he's so a lot of people are fading him this week. I don't know if they're full of shit, or if they're just feeling ballsy like I am with Rahm. That's a hard fade to make. That's a hard fade to make. I like him. I like him this week. Out of the top 3 guys, I would take Dustin Johnson.
Yeah, I would too.
And I can make
Yep.
up the difference with Thompson, Poston, Todd, Griffin. I can make up the difference and get right back after taking one of those guys to a balanced build to try to get a lot of guys more up top.
I've got a Johnson Rom, a Johnson Schauffele, Johnson Finau Matzi.
Yeah. Here's your Louis Oosthuizen fun fact I didn't touch on when we were by him. He has 3 top 10s in U.S. Opens. He's got top 40s in every U.S. Open that he's ever played in his career.
So he's going to make the cut.
And at 7,600, you got to love that. So
yeah,
take that for what it's worth. Mackenzie Hughes plays great on hard golf courses, and he's 8th strokes gained putting for 2020. Finau, I'm so glad you brought him up. 11th stroke gain tee to green. You can't really beat that at a course that you know is going to be tough, and he qualifies as a bomber.
So
I don't know, but I mean, I have to work, so I have to do that. I have to restart it.
Well, it's not working. You tried to restart it already, didn't you?
I'm just telling you, I have to.
So that is where I am at. You are frozen, so I'm going to continue to talk to myself. The first core 4 I made was a little bit conservative and a little bit of a homer pick, which was Hovland, Griffin, Todd, and Woodland. And that left you $10,150 left to kind of go where you want to go there. I reached and then kind of balanced. I did 2 balance. Truthfully, my favorite lineup this week left a lot of money on the table. That's on WeLiveFantasy.com. I posted that along with the top 10s. And then the second core 4 that I made was Hovland, Todd, Reed, and Woodland, which left you $9,150 left on the board to kind of figure out where you want to go. Woods and Cantlay was my favorite there. Good luck this week. If you haven't seen the top 10s, Chapstick's top 10s on WeLiveFantasy.com, make sure you check that out on the website. Make sure you see the write-up. I tweaked the core 4 a little bit, so that's on there too. If you have anything else, you have any questions, hit us up on Twitter, any social media, and just ask the question. Hope you guys have a great day. WeLiveFantasy.com. We're living that low stakes life. Hope to see you guys in the green, up on top of leaderboards, and we will see you tomorrow with a showdown breakdown.